Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map that has genuinely surprised me, and I mean that in a good way. Arguably, I would say that this is my favourite map for a long time. Now, yes, it does need some spit and polish to iron out a few basic detailing issues, but I think it's really worth it. And I would go so far to say, if you're gonna start the game up today with a brand new map, I recommend this one. There you go, right in at the deep end. I'm saying it right now out loud. I didn't expect anything from this one. It's not a well-known creator. It doesn't look like the most amazing of maps. It does look quite detailed, and it is. And the playability is going to be high. But before we do any reviewing of the map, I've just got a little favour to ask you. You know what's coming, you know. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thank you for taking the time. Today's map is Windy Plateau by nikolavrj. From now on, you're going to be called Nico until the end of the show because I'm not going through all of that. Okay, let's have a look at the start square. Now, it's not the most ideally situated, but it does add to the playability as you reach out towards the better areas of the map. But it's definitely a good start square. There's your terrain heights. Look at that. Is that tasty or what? Yeah. And the resources, although it is field painting, they are large chunks of field painting and definitely usable if you just want to completely ignore the fact that they're fields. Off to the workshop. It says it's an industries map. I don't believe that it is. It might be, but I can't really say I've noticed anything. Mass transit, yes, we've got a couple of mass transit roads in there. And we'll be using the temperate vanilla theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT as well. Okay, the worst thing you're going to see on the entire map is right here. I've got the fog switched off. We are deep in the fog, so it doesn't really matter so much because we are deep in the fog. It's vanilla. You probably won't be playing 81 tiles, but if you are, you might find these clipping street lamps and the fact that the bridge is so low that in a moment there's a truck going to crash through it. A little bit of blue mantle from the wrong angle there, but that's fine. You can't see it from above. And the truck, yeah, it's just way too low. But that is as bad as it gets. Beyond that, any detailing issues are just a matter of taste and a matter of polish. Just polish, that's all. 100% vanilla, which is incredible really that we've got a map as detailed and as interesting and as varied as this one. We've got a whole mix of biomes, a whole lot of things going on, and I am completely buying this. Completely buying it. Right, so we're going to do a little drive down to the start square, and you knew that. This is your first ever show. Hands up, let me know in the comments if this is your first ever What map. I want to know who's watching this for the first time. First intersection there is very slick and very sleek. Not helped obviously by the vanilla theme. A little bit of zigzag going down there, the old shark's teeth. But tiny little bit of smoothing tool down there would ease that out very nicely. A really good intersection. What's coming up now is going to give you an idea as to just the quality of Nikolav, or Nico. As we look at the right hand highway, it bears off to the right and then it will go across the top of the highway because obviously limited space down this valley. And then as it comes back the other side, it finds its way back underneath on the way back. And then rocks everywhere. You can see how that has been forced by the terrain to follow an unusual route. It's very aesthetically pleasing and very, very well done as well. And then we've got this this is going to be the swirly intersection, call it that. We'll be coming back to this in a moment. Obviously you've seen that intersection before, but I'll say down here we've got no clipping pillars, no lampposts, no nothing, and the 2-lane highways there are the mass transit highways. That's why you need mass transit for this map. Okay, now we're going down some slight terrain, network stress on the roads there between, and you'll see that every now and then, a little bit of network stress on the roads. Easily fixed again if you are bothered by that kind of thing. Next intersection here, this will take you across the river, and I'm loving this brick wall. Love the way it builds up actually to the actual flyover. That is very nicely done. I think it's the first time I've seen something quite like that in a map after 760 shows. Will I get to the 1,000? Will I get to the 1,000? There's a good question. Possibly. Anyway, next intersection over here, this is one I think we'll take this one, because this is the one that leads up to the start square. We're going up a bit of a valley here as well, very tidily done once more, under or over the bridge, or through the bridge possibly. Some more terrain stress here. You can see the roads aren't quite at the same elevation, and that is what's causing the stress on the road, those little darker patches on the road as we're coming up. And then we'll a little bit right here, come on, bend off to the right. Should be a roundabout up here somewhere. Here it is, a very nicely done roundabout, and very cool, slip roads and stuff, very nice. And then down here we have the start square. And what have we got in today's start square? We've got a newbie. A newbie as in the first time on what map for Prepo, with their FW Petrell's Distillery level 3. This one was at number 2 in the Steam Weekly charts. First time on the charts, and they were at number 2. Well done, Prepo. Well done, FW, as well, for your distillery. I love it. Factoids, because factoids. Carl Stromfelder. Recognise the name? No, me neither. Spent the last years of his life living in a bath. He ate, slept, and conducted his business from his tub, and then he asked to be buried in it. There are all sorts, aren't there? I don't even own a bath. I haven't got room in my bathroom for a bath. To bathe standing up with water being poured on me from above. By minions. The BonBonB buddies with their eyes closed. Thank you, BonBonB buddies. Anyway, FW Petrell's Distillery Level 3 by Prepo. That is today's asset of the day. Good to see it. Thank you. Maybe that's an industries thing, but that isn't part of the map, so I don't know if that really is relevant to it being in an industries thing. But anyway, if we go back down to the highway, we're going to go back the way we came, because first of all I see a ship heading towards this bridge, so let's just check for shipping clipping. We'll be doing this later anyway properly, but it just seems too good an opportunity to miss. I'm going to speed the ship up. Now, are you going to brush that pillar? Oh, it's going to be... No, it's nowhere near close. Okay, and now back down to the swirly bout. Okay, this is going to take us across to the main build plane. This isn't going to be the main start square, but the main build plane over here, which is big and enticing. And oh, that's too good an opportunity to be missed. A cargo ship. Come on, my friend. Come on. We'll use... Oh, it's going to be very close to that pillar. That's scraping. That's scraping. Okay, so... minor things to iron out. Minor things. This road is lovely. This finds its way up to the main plateau with a little bit of switchbacks through the valleys. It's very cleanly done as well. And when we go up it just opens up and you get this huge expanse of build plane. Look at this. Now you could argue this should have been the start square. I quite like the start square where it is. You've got this huge intersection. Will deal with any amount of traffic that you throw at it for a big city build here. And I would say this is all going to be skyscrapers right here. It wants to be skyscrapers, doesn't it? Feels just right. And then we'll just keep heading off. So yeah, so that is your main build area. We've got fields all the way around here as well to expand into, buying the fields in one by one to pretend that you're just expanding section by section. It just feels really, really organic, and the playability, just as each area unlocks, you kind of unlocks 3 more ideas at the same time. I love the idea. Here again, we've got highways that cross over each other and cross back, only this time with the aid of a tunnel. And again, the tunnel's been done pretty damned well. I can't moan too much about that, actually. And it works really well, and then we got this lovely little bridge stretched across, and we're going off towards the edge of the map. One last intersection to look at, swooping one. Obviously there's a lot of things we've not seen on the map in terms of highway networks, because there is so much on the map. We can't possibly check it all. But with my little fly-throughs, I've not found anything else to highlight. Otherwise, you know that I would have taken you to an intersection with a pillar in it, don't you? You know that. The rail is within context of it being a Cities Skylines game. There are some transitions, some elevation changes that are slightly too steep. I'm sure we'll find one along the route somewhere. But in context of the game, like this one here, this little stretch here is just a little bit too steep for realism. But is this a realistic map or is it a fantasy map? It's kind of somewhere between the two. It's a Cities Skylines map. This is what the game was built for. If every map was like this, I mean, the realists wouldn't be very happy, but I think the game players would love it, absolutely love it, to have a constant flow of maps of this standard. Switchbacks here on the rail, getting back up to the top of the plateau. Again, slightly too steep for realism, but you can see the effort's being made to make it believable. And then back onto a main line coming this way. So yes, very impressive. Very left. Very impressive indeed. When we come back after the intermission, we'll do the usual check the shipping routes if there are any, and I'll tell you there are because we've seen them already. And then we've got a water flow, we'll check that, and I'll show you a few little areas, and I will polish out a couple of areas to show you a little bit of split and polish can make a little bit of a difference to one area. It wouldn't take an awful lot of effort to bring this map up to the very top standards, and if you gave this a custom theme, wow, would this map pop or what? We are talking about something very special indeed today. Very special. But what else is very special? I wonder if Zack can tell us about something very special.
Have you ever wanted to create a snow scene in your summer city, but you're not interested in buying the Snowfall DLC? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Snow Without DLC by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so to the shipping routes. Well, we got two that run parallel with each other, and they get a bit close to each other, which means oncoming shipping might crunch into each other, or goes through each other, I guess. And then through this bridge, that's kind of okay down here, I think. Definitely high enough. And then down to the next bridge, and there's some reason the shipping decides to cross over each other and go really close to that pillar, and then cross over each other back the other way. So for me, and there, question marks there as well. The big question mark is, why do we have two shipping routes at all? Because if we carry on straight up, we've got to look at all of these now. But look here, it just switches back here and then goes back out. One simple shipping route going up the middle of that river would be absolutely spot on, and all that this map needs. Water flow. Now we are going, oh look at this, this is the ship doing the switchback. Do a little turny. Turn around there, off you go. You're not needed. It's, I mean, it's good to see boats going up and down the river, but that one, it just seems daft. I'd rather it was going off the top of the river, but the top of the river isn't actually connected. But what we have here is good, strong water flow going down the main part of the river where all the buildable areas are, so you'll have no problems with water flow. All right, what more can we look at? What more can we look at? So we pull back, have a little bruise over the... Yeah, I think we should start with the start square. Well, the start square area is over here. So we've got a decent area to build into to start off with. And then if you look across here, this is your main buildable area just across the river. So if you can buy a couple of tiles to get across there, you'd be well in business. However, there are tiles around here that you can buy into, good buildable field areas, but we are on the edge of the map. So it's a vanilla map, so you probably won't be paying 81 tiles, but if you aren't, you've got to push inland right off. A lot of those edge tiles are not going to be available. These is kind of like your limit right there. So you're going to have to build in towards the middle of the map, and these will not be part of your city. But if you're playing 81 tiles, then yes, you'll be able to grab right into those and do something quite special and quite big, I think, actually. What more have we got going on? We've got some fantasy river type scenarios, like this one here, which splurges out of here over waterfall. From this lake, it looks like an underground river coming out of, look at that, out of the cave. If that cave was a little bit lower, that would be believable actually as a little underground river. Very nice. Oh, it's everybody's favourite factory. Location, not entirely buying it, but again, does it really matter? Not really. We've got a rail depot to go in here, possibly. That makes a lot of sense, quite close to the industrial area. And then what more can we look at? There's so much. The rivers are quite deep, these riverbanks in places. I'm looking for something very specific. How about a lake? Now this lake, we'll do some work with this lake, I think. If you have a look, we've got the sand just stops, and then we've got the sharp riverbanks into lake. It's a good shape lake. I like the shape of it. I didn't want to do that, sorry. I needed to do this. I hit the wrong button. And we use the smoothing tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth out the lake just a little bit, first of all. And probably need to make a slightly bigger brush. Slightly bigger brush. There we go. Probably too big now. But there we go. I'll just smooth the entire thing out a little bit, just to see if we can't make it slightly more pleasing to the eye. I don't want to overdo it too much at first. I don't want to flood the area for as much as anything. That's kind of a little bit better. I think we might just smooch over all of it. It's not flooding. The water spawn points are handling it very well indeed. So I'm going to smooth the entire thing out. Get the whole thing looking sandy. Like that. There you go. And now that water's going to take a few moments to find its level. But that, I think, once it's settled down, will be an improvement. What we got over here? Oh, we've got a lovely little hill area with, ooh, it's a castle. There's the castle. This is a lovely, lovely castle. It's not perfect, but I do like the overall design. I like the location. I like the vision for it. I like the fact there's a lot of green going on it. It's a big feature area indeed. We do have the doors on the outside of the towers, making it easy to invade. Although you won't invade from that side door overlooking the cliffs. And also the outside walls go through the actual towers themselves. So there are little things that would be improved on if I was to have a little play with it. But I like it. Again, I want to say one of my favourite castles, but I'm sold on that castle. It just needs some polish. This marsh area, again, we've got some fairly steep cliffs going around, or banks, not cliffs so much, but river banks. What I'd be inclined to do here is just to raise the water level on the entire area, just up to the riverbank areas. So that one there, this one can come up a little bit more, and I think this would just make it slightly less gaunting on the eye if we do that. You'll still be able to build around the marsh areas. That won't be a problem at all. I'm not going to do all of them. I think just something like that. There's a couple more. So one there. I'm done. I'm done. You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. And then that would just fill up with water to make the whole area just look and feel a little bit more in tune. Right, what more do we have? Oh, we've got so much more. So much more. Is this our lake? No, it's not our lake. We're looking for, where was our lake? It's not that one. Didn't have islands in it. Did not have islands in it. Ridgy type island. There it is. There's the baby. Down here, has the water settled down? Kind of has. I think, yeah, okay, we've got some drowned trees over on the other bank. That's my fault. I wasn't concentrating on trees. I was just concentrating on water level and the smoothing of the river banks, the lake banks. That looks a lot more pleasing. And I think the whole map could just do with a little bit of that pretty much everywhere in terms of just taking it up to the next level. We've got another lake here. Again, we've got some rocks there. Again, the whole thing could just do with some smoothing out. And then we got this river. This river is okay here, but as we get down to the main river, you'll see the water flow just eases off a little bit too much. Where are we? A little bit there, and then down here we've got hardly anything at this point. This doesn't get any better. This has been running for a while, and that is about as good as the water flow gets there. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, it looks really choppy. Now, this isn't lumpy water. I know we get lumpy water sometimes. This is river bed. That's what I'm going for. The riverbed. You look at how it's gouged along there. So the water isn't actually lumpy. It's just trying to cope with a non-flat riverbed. And that's the only problem that's going on with that. But anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. But if you decide against it being in the top 10 maps, then you are not my friend anymore. It's as simple as that. It's a lovely map. It just needs some polish. Okay, aesthetically, I really like it. It's busy. Custom theme would help a lot, and it needs some polishing. But it's still, even with all that said, it's still definitely a 4-star map. Well done. Detail needs work here and there. You can see that I was so close to giving it 4 stars for the amount of detail, but there's just a little bit too much that needs just tweaking. So I'm going to give it a very high 3 stars for detail, very close to the 4th. Gameplay potential, we could probably argue for a better start square, but that said, I don't think it holds the map back at all. I'm giving it 5. I'm really totally sold on this map. Best map I have seen for a long time. Not the prettiest, but the best. So anyways, that's it. Does it get the BonBonB seal of approval? Windy Plateau by nikolavrj definitely gets the BonBonB seal of approval. Well done. Very, very well done. Like it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Join me tomorrow for another map in the What Map series. Yes, it is the BonBon Vote map tomorrow. Which map have they voted for to be reviewed this week? Only 24 hours to wait and find out. Old map on the screen now if you want to have a little vote on that one. And with any luck, I'm hoping Duvo will return tomorrow evening, so don't miss that one. I've been BonBonB, you've been very, very welcome, and I hope you all have a really good day.